So I'm really happy to welcome Ellen, who is at home in Ottawa. She works for the Museum of Science and Technology in Ottawa, which is a really awesome place to visit. Has some really great science equipment, and she's here to tell us about microscopes and being able to see teeny tiny things that we can't see with the naked eye. So, we're going to play some cool games as we do that and as we learn together. So I'm going to turn it over to Ellen, and we've got about 45 minutes, Ellen. I think 40 to 45 minutes would be perfect.
Perfect.
What you'd planned, right? So we'll her and the students, what they do is they type in the chat if they have any questions, and we'll be able to, I'll just turn them over to you. Hi, Gibbler, you made it. Good, buddy.
So feel free to interrupt me at any time if I'm missing anything on the chat and you want to bring it to my attention, feel free to interrupt.
You.
So my name is Ellen, and I work at the Canada Science and Technology Museum here in Ottawa. I am obviously not at the museum today. I'm coming to you from my home. So I have a few things that we're going to do today. They're all about magnification and microscopes. So we're going to start with just a little bit of an introduction to my museum so you can get an idea of what it looks like. Then we'll do a little introduction into magnification and microscopes. And then I have a whole bunch of objects here on the table that you can't quite see yet. And we're going to have a chance to look at them with the microscope that I have here. And at the end, I have a game that we can play where you're going to look at magnified images and try to guess what that image is. So I'm going to start with sharing my little presentation with you here. Okay. So
I can see it.
You can see it? Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a little video here just to introduce you to the museum. Now, when I've tried it in the past, it got frozen a little bit, so if that happens, I'll just get ahead. So, like I said, the Canada Science and Technology Museum is located in Ottawa. That's Canada's capital, so that's where we have the Parliament buildings. That's where a lot of the Canada's government is. When you come to the museum, this is what you see at the outside. There's a big screen above the doors that we play different videos. It kind of changes every day and throughout the day what videos are being played there. And here we're just walking up to the doors to go into the entrance. And here we go. We're inside the museum now. And this is right when it froze last time too. So that's all we get to see, I think, of the inside of the museum is just the entrance. But there are lots of different exhibits that you can visit. Some of the highlights of the museum that people love to see are the Crazy Kitchen, which is a kitchen that's kind of built on an angle a little bit. So when you go into it, everything is positioned properly, but you kind of lose your balance because you're tipping over. We also have really big locomotives, and people love climbing inside those and seeing what they look like. But moving on to the magnification portion. So what is magnification? What does that mean? So magnification means zooming in on something. So a lot of times if you're looking at your phone and you zoom in, you're magnifying the image that's appearing on your screen. So you're making something appear larger if it's smaller. And we write it usually in science and in photography. We write it as a number. So you would write 2x to mean you're magnifying it 2 times. Or if you're magnifying it even more, you would say 10x, so 10 times magnification. So that's what magnification is. Oh, someone was in Ottawa a couple of days ago. That's really cool. Okay, so now I have a question for you. And if you are with someone right now, you can talk about what you think some ideas are, or you could type them into the chat. So why would we want to magnify something? Why would we want to make something look bigger? Anyone have any ideas?
To see it closer so they can see it better. George says so we can see something better. Evan says because they're too small to see.
Great.
Erin says to see stuff. These are
They're all great suggestions. So seeing things that are small, to see things better, to see things that are small, that's absolutely reasons why we would want to magnify something. Now here are some objects that we use to magnify things. So in the center you can see a microscope. That's kind of an old-fashioned microscope. Now at the bottom on the right side, does anyone recognize what that object is? Big gold object at the bottom. That's a telescope. Now, do we use a telescope to see things that are very small? Oh, we use it to see planets. No. Okay, so we can also use magnification to see things that are very, very far away. Because when things are far away, they look small to us. So we can make them look bigger to us by magnifying them. So see things that are small and see things that are far away. We can also use glasses and binoculars that can change how big or how small something is. Now I have another question for you. How many objects can you think of, just everyday objects that can magnify things? So we just saw some on the last slide. Can you think of any others? A phone, a magnifying glass, and a phone, yeah. Those are all great objects. I don't use glasses, but I don't have great eyesight. So I actually put some stuff in my eyes. Do you know what, can you guess what I put in my eyes to make me see better? I use contacts, that's right. Yeah, someone said a window. Yeah, well, maybe. There's like things, you could have like a warped window that could actually change the shape of things. Usually a window is flat, and so it doesn't actually change how big something looks, but it could depending on how it's shaped and what kind of material it's used out of. So those were really great ideas. Yeah, I'm wearing contact lenses today. So all of those things that you said, they all have lenses inside of them, and lenses are actually what do the magnifying. So lenses are a clear material, like a window, or the lenses on your glasses, and they do something called refraction, which means they change the direction of the light rays. So the light rays hit the material and it changes its direction on the other side. Okay, and it depends on the shape of the lens that changes whether it magnifies it or shrinks it. So magnifies it, makes it look bigger, or shrinks it, makes it look small. So a convex lens rather, is shaped like this with its rounded parts on the facing out. So a convex mirror makes all the light rays go together, and that makes it magnify the image. And a concave mirror, or with lens, shrinks the image. So you might want to use different things for different purposes. Now, what is a microscope? We're going to look at what actually a microscope is. So a microscope is a tool that we use to magnify small specimens. So not like a telescope for things that are far away or binoculars, but something that's small that we want to see more detail of. Usually it has a close light source, and we have control of the magnification and the focus of the image. Okay, so this is the microscope that I am using today. So it's a very, very simple to use microscope. It's a digital microscope. So all I need to do is I put my, whatever I want to look at under here, and it's got a light shining out of it. And I have a little knob that I can turn to make it go higher or lower. So I can get it as close as possible to the surface of my specimen. And then I have another little adjustment here that I can do, which kind of changes the zoom. It changes the magnification. Okay, and so we can look at different objects. Now this is, like I said, it's a very good and easy to use microscope, but it's not the most powerful microscope. So I saw someone said they want to look at microorganisms. This one's not going to be powerful enough to see those, but what we're going to be able to look at is the details on different objects. So what I'll do is I'll tell you about some of the objects that I have around me. And when you hear something that sounds like something you'd like to look at, just type it into the chat. So I have some different kinds of sandpaper. I have Velcro, feathers, foam, pipe cleaners. I have a bee. I have plants. I have little animal specimen. I have some things for my kitchen. I have ketchup and jam and mustard. I have a scarf and pictures. Those are some of my objects. Okay, so I see a bunch of ideas of things that you guys want to look at. So I'll start looking at those things. Now, I don't have all the materials that I normally have for this program because I wasn't able to take everything from the museum. So I did take some things from around my house. So someone wants to see, someone said they wanted to see paper. So let me grab my paper. And I'm just going to switch the screen over. There we go. You'll be able to see. So I have 2 different kinds of paper. So let's see, what do we have first? This is just a white paper, just a little square of white paper. I'm going to put it here, all the way down. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing with my microscope, but let's zoom and see if we can see any details on that. Zoom in more. Okay, so can you see the details on that paper? You can see how the paper is actually made of, it looks like, kind of looks to me like felt a little bit because it's made of different fibers. Let's see if we can go even farther in there. Okay. Yeah, so we can see it's not quite solid. That was kind of tough to see. Let's look at, this is a piece of tissue paper. So it's going to be a little bit more, it's more see-through, we can already tell. So let's look and see if that looks any different. Oh, wow. Okay, so we can already see that we can see those holes that are in the tissue paper. We zoom out a little bit more. Just a different view. I have 2 different focuses on my microscope. I can always look at 2 different magnification levels. Okay, so we can see why we can see through tissue paper a little bit because there's all those little holes in it. I also have let's look at, I have some toilet paper. Let's look at a piece of toilet paper. What that looks like. Cool. Okay, so we can see the woven fibers here as well, but a little bit looser because we don't want our toilet paper to be hard like regular paper. We want it to be nice and soft. We can see all those fibers. Excellent. Okay, so let's look at something else now. I saw that someone wanted to see insects, I think. So let me pull out my insects. So these specimens, I can't tell you exactly what they are because I found these and they didn't have any labels with them, but they are insects that are in a resin. So look at those. Look at this one in the middle because it's nice and big, so we should be able to see a bit more detail on there. Let's start with the back. Okay, now I'm going to zoom out all the way. Okay, so that's the back. And let's see if we can find the head. Okay, there's the head. Let's see if we can get that better into focus. Cool. Excellent. So we can see the head of the microscope, or head of the insect. And I'm going to flip it over and we can see the head from the other side, maybe. Ooh. That focus. Cool. And why don't we zoom in on this eye? It's hard sometimes to get it quite the right focus. There we go. Wonder if I can. There.
So, boys and girls, if you've learned about compound eyes, you can see all the little parts of the insect's eye.
Yeah.
Has different lenses in his eyes.
There we go. Yeah. So you can see, yeah, kind of like little holes or little spots on the eye. Interesting. Okay. Another one that is one of my favorites is the bat. So that I have a bat here. There's the bat. And I also have a skeleton of a bat. Why don't we have a look and see what he looks like? Let's look at his little face. Let's zoom out a bit. Okay, I can see some teeth there. Do you guys see those teeth? I think those are teeth. They must be. Cool. Let's see. I'll go from the other side because it's a little bit easier to see on the back. There's a foot with the toes. Now, the anatomy of a bat is actually pretty similar to the anatomy of a human because of the, like, they have a lot of the same body parts. They just have like wings as well. Really interesting. Here's the wing. See a bone going through the wing. Let's look at the bones themselves here. Now, let's see if I can get less shiny. That's a wing bone right there. Cool. Okay, now let me just, Melly, can you tell me what else people wanted to see?
Wanted to see sandpaper and maybe sugar.
Okay.
And yay, Sierra, you made it. You just missed the bat. And they wanted to see fabric and clams.
Ketchup. Okay. Great. Okay, so I'll start with some of those. So let's start with the sandpaper. So I have a few different kinds, and they're different grains. So this one's very, very rough. So let's see how that one looks.
And feathers and plants.
Okay. So there's my very rough sandpaper.
Cool.
You can see all the little bits that are gonna be able to scrape off the layers of whatever we're trying to sand. You can go even further in. Neat. Look at that. It looks like cheese. Yeah, it looks like rocks and sand. Okay, let's look at a little bit of a it's a bit of a finer grain. Not quite as rough, so we should be able to see that it doesn't quite look the exact same. So yeah, this one, it looks like those little bumpy bits are a little bit smaller. Interesting. Let's go an even finer grain. This one's almost smooth. It's so fine. Okay, so those ones are even smaller. If we zoom in even further. Yeah, so those ones are pretty small. So that's going to get like some really, all the pretty good fine detail. Standing. Someone wanted to see feathers. Now these, I think, isn't a real feather, it's an artificial feather, but don't worry, we'll see a real feather later. I don't have any clams here. No, I don't have any clams. This is a feather. Let's go even further in. Oh, no, I guess that was as far as we could go. Oh, someone wants to see a sponge. So let's look at the plant next. I have two different plants here. I'll show you. Just going to get up to move them over because they're in pots. Okay, so I have two plants. This one is an aloe plant, And this one is a fake plant, as in it's like not a real plant, it's made of plastic. So I thought it'd be interesting to see if they look different with the microscope. So let's have a look. So we're going to start with the fake plant, one made of plastic. Trying to squeeze it out there. Okay. Oh, not too far. Okay, so this is my fake plant. Let's see. Okay, it looks kind of shiny, kind of sparkly. That could be the dust. I haven't dusted my plant in a while. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so it's pretty solid, but it has all these little specks, which I believe are dust. Okay, let's have a look at the real plant, the aloe plant. I'm just gonna, for this part, just rip off a little piece. That underneath. Okay, so here we can see the texture on that leaf of the aloe plant. It looks a lot less dusty though. But we can see that the surface isn't smooth. It seems like it feels smooth to the touch, although it does have these little prickles on the edge. Let's see if I can get you the prickle edge of the aloe plant. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Get better. Yeah, so it's got those. Okay, and then someone else wanted to see fabric. I have a scarf here. Have a look at this.
MacArthur said that the plant looked like the inside of a beehive. That was a really good.
Oh, interesting observation. Yeah, so this is my scarf, and it's a woven scarf. So we can really see here how the different colors of thread are being woven together to make up the scarf. Go even further, we can see how each of the threads is actually made up of even finer threads that have been spun together. Even finer fibers twisted together to make the thread. Looks like a doormat. It does, doesn't it? Because it looks rough, because we can see all the little, the string bits coming off of it when we go in that close. But, I mean, it's a very nice scarf. Very soft. Doesn't feel like a doormat at all. Someone else wanted to look at ketchup. I'm just going to be right back with the ketchup. Give it a little shake. In a little dish. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe we'll try some mustard after too. Okay. Here's the ketchup. Oh, oh. Okay, so you can see it's pretty shiny, which makes sense. It just looks like red paste. Yeah, not a lot of detail here because it's a very smooth thing. It's very smooth. I'm going to try the mustard. The mustard that I have is a Dijon mustard, and you can see that we have all these little, all this texture in here. So that should be really interesting to look at. I'm going to shake this one up too.
Sierra said,
I saw that. If her ketchup was chunky, she'd be worried. Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what my mustard looks like in the dish. Let's go all the way out, and then we'll go in. Okay, so you can definitely see it still looks shiny, which again makes sense, but we can see all these little different grains in the mustard. Cool. Those look kind of dirty. Interesting. Okay, another one that I wanted to show you is I have two pictures here. And one picture is a really old picture. This is me as a baby. So this picture comes all the way back from the 1900s, whole different millennium. So we'll see what this one looks like under the microscope. Out. And okay, so you can see that's, I think, on the clothing part of the picture. We go in even further. Yeah, we can see a little bit of texture on that picture. Do you think I have next? I have a different picture. So I have these pictures that I printed. It's just on regular paper out of a regular printer from my office. How do you think this is going to look different than the other picture? And if so, how do you think it's going to look different? What about it is going to look different? Let's have a look. Lots of dots. Yes, you're absolutely right. So did you know that a printer, like an office printer, only has 4 different kinds of inks inside of it? It has black and blue and magenta and yellow. So any colors that it needs to make, it makes using those colors by doing dots, pixels, like you said, of the different colors, and then we combine them to make whatever color we want to make. So the printer is using a lot of really cool technology to make a picture out of just all these little dots. Okay. I think it's time to move on to the game. Do you guys want to move on to the game? Let's go. Okay. So this game is kind of like Jeopardy. It's a Jeopardy style game. Let me share it with you. Lost my mouse. Can't see. There we go. No. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I have a few different categories of things that we're going to look at. So here are the categories. So first is up close animals. Next we have under the sea, nature, in your kitchen, materials, and technology. So this is our game board. So I'm going to ask you guys to pick what category you want first and what questions. You could say one of the categories and one of the numbers below it.
Okay, I'm going to call out the participants just right in the list if that would help.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, so Nick, what would you like? Just type in the chat. See, did Nick answer?
I didn't see Nick.
No? Oh, there he comes. Nick and Emma, nature. For how much? Let's say 200. So the next person up is going to be Aiden.
Okay. Okay, so everyone can guess for this. So what is shown in this image? And I'll give you a couple of options if you want to have that. So is this zebra skin, or is it a parsnip? Is it birch bark, or an earthworm? Type in what you think it is. Someone says, Sierra says a worm. Gibbler says bark. earthworm, birch bark worm. Okay, let's see what you guys think. Let's see what it actually is. It is birch bark.
Woohoo!
Yeah, a lot of you guys guessed that. Good job.
Okay, next up is Aiden.
Aiden, what would you like?
In your kitchen, 500.
Okay, so what do you see in this image? Your options are crystallized honey, candy, cookie crumb, or abrasive microplastic.
And Aaron is up next.
Honey, candy, honey, 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 honey. A lot of people think honey. Seems like that's the most common answer. Actually, a cookie crumb. I thought it looked like honey too, and I took that picture with that same microscope that we were using earlier, and I was so surprised at how shiny it looked. I thought it looked like crystallized honey as well.
Cool. Okay, Aaron, your choice. Nature 100. And
Okay.
Allegria is next, I believe.
Okay. So Nature 100. So is it a jellyfish? Is it insect eggs, bean sprouts, or strawberry seeds? One gives it a flower. Other guess insect eggs, a bean, strawberry seeds. Okay, pretty good mix. But a lot of people are saying strawberry seeds, which is correct. Those are strawberry seeds. That was the skin of a strawberry, and you could see the seeds on it. Okay. Who was next again?
Allegria? I can only see part of the name. Not sure. Oh, Allegra and Leela Rocky.
Okay.
And Logan's going to be up next if he can get his category ready. Okay, maybe Allegra and Ria can come back. So Logan, we'll go on to you. Check for 300.
Oh, check for 300.
That's Jameson. We're going to get, guys, if you guys get it in your names, in your heads, then we'll get them. So Logan's next. Okay, Declan, if you're ready, you can go next, and we'll go back to the other people. Go ahead, Declan. Yeah, I'm going by the list, but go ahead, Declan. And then Elise and Logan and Allegria, they can go next if they're ready. Declan, can you put yours in the chat? Bye, Pure Family. I hope you come back for bat soon.
Okay.
100.
Perfect. Okay, so under the C, let me just find that one. Okay, so your options for this one, is it the antennae of a sea slug? Is it is it the legs of a sea star, tentacles of a barnacle, or a cactus coral? One's a spider. I think that meant to say shrimp. Okay. The Barney thing, barnacles, shrimp. Okay, let's see what the actual answer thing. It was the tentacles of a goose barnacle. So this one I didn't take with my microscope. This comes from a collection that the museum has of really old slides. so I didn't take that picture myself.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if Elise is ready. I'm going down the list, Weston, so just, if Elise isn't ready, we have Logan for Tech for 300.
Tech for 300. Okay, so what do you see in this image? Okay, your options are a fluorescent light, a zipper, an HDMI cable, or a micro piano. Okay, I see a couple people said zipper before I even said it, so a lot of people think this is a zipper. Yeah, I think everyone's saying zipper, and you know what? That is what I thought it looks like too, but it's actually an HDMI cable. It's like the inside part. Isn't that cool? It really does look like a zipper.
Okay, and Elise, what was yours was, see, I have to go back in the chat. Elise, oops. Materials 200.
Materials 200, okay. Ooh, what do you see in this image?
Ooh.
So your options are, is it ink, marble, granite, or a tattoo? Ink, tattoo, people are saying. Tattoo, granite, tattoo, ink. Okay, let's have a look. That's actually writing on paper, so it's ink on paper. I was really surprised when I first saw that. I thought that looked really, really cool.
Okay, next up is Jameson. And then next is Mary, and then MacArthur. Hey, go Jameson. What's your choice? Up close animals, 500.
Okay. What is this and what animal is it from?
Ooh.
Okay. So your options for this are rhinoceros horn, parrot feather, dragonfly wing, or the shell of an iridescent beetle. Someone says that's impossible. A beetle, dragonfly, feather, dragonfly. Okay. You guys are going to be so surprised. It's actually a rhinoceros horn. Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
Yeah, all those colors in there. So cool.
Okay, that was really good pick, Jameson. Mary, you're up next. And then MacArthur, then Gibbler. Jameson says thanks. Mary, are you there? I don't see Mary. No, maybe MacArthur can go. Up close animals, 400.
Okay, so what is this and what animal is it from? Your options are a chicken tail, bat hair, fish gills, or peacock feather.
Whoa.
I missed that last guess, so I didn't see that. A feather, bat, peacock feather, peacock bat hair, peacock fish gill, yeah, fish, peacock, hair. Okay, let's have a look. That's actually bat hair. We were looking at a bat earlier.
And our next session is on bats, and our friend Lannis is gonna have 3 live bats. Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Okay, Gibbler, go for it, Gibbler. Then Charlie, then Weston. We're just going down the list. Under the sea, 500.
Okay, so what is shown in this image? Your options are feather coral, seagrass, shark tooth, or fish skin. Fish skin, shark tooth, fish skin. Okay, well, those all came all at once. Okay, seagrass. I think I saw people are guessing all different things. We're not quite sure what this is. That one's actually the fish skin. That's the skin of a soulfish.
Ooh, wow. Okay, Charlie, then Weston. Charlie, do you have a category for us? I feel like Alex Trebek. What is? We'll wait for Charlie, and then we'll go on to Weston if Charlie doesn't put in his request. Charlie, in your kitchen for how much, buddy? $500.
We already
on.
Why don't we do 400 then? Okay, I'll do 400 because we already did 500.
Charlie, girl.
So what is this? And your options are, well, people are already saying cheese, but your options are foamy milk, a washing sponge, non-stick ceramic coating, and bread. So it's definitely not cheese because it's not even in there. Someone says a sponge, bread, milk, bread, SpongeBob. Bread. Okay, let's have a look. Oops, and it says milk. Great, so that was bread. A lot of you guys guessed that one. That one's a tough one though. It does kind of look like a sponge.
It is, and we're just going to be in perfect timing. So we're going to go Weston, Sierra, Avery, Ryan. So Weston, you can put your category in, please. Tech for 500.
Okay, so what do you see in this image? Let's see what your options are. Fake hair, light bulb filament, 3D printed material, or fiber optic cables. What do you think? Light bulb filament, cables, fiber optic cables, 3D printed, fiber optics, hair. Yeah, we got a little bit of everything here. Okay, let's see what the answer is. 3D printed material. Isn't that cool? You can see in that picture how even though the 3D printed material is solid, it's made up of the fibers of plastic that come out of the machine. So you can see the fibers in that picture.
And I just found Mary's question in the question and answer part instead of that. So Mary wanted under the sea for 100.
Okay, let's go there. So what is shown in this image? Under the sea. So is this shrimp, garbage, rocks, or seashells? Trash, people say trash, rocks, shrimp, seashells, seashells, seashells. Okay. Those were little tiny itty bitty seashells, very, very small ones. Because they look small even in the magnified picture. So they're not small, they must have been itty bitty.
Awesome. So now we have Sierra's turn. Yay, Sierra, it's finally your turn. Then Avery, then Ryan.
Sierra says in your kitchen for 300. Okay, what do you see in this image? And your options are moldy bread, mushroom, cleaning brush, or cheese. Fungus, which a mushroom is a fungus. Mushroom, moldy bread, mushroom, cleaning brush. Okay, that's actually a mushroom. It's all those little brown, those darker brown bits in there. That's what it was.
So they'll look at the next time they have mushrooms for dinner, they're going to look for those little filaments. Okay,
Yeah.
Avery, 2 more questions. Perfect timing.
Great.
Sierra says they were nasty. That's what my kids say about mushrooms too when they're 30. So Avery.
You know, I'm not a big fan of mushrooms either, but I think it looks really cool. Oh, what did Avery say? Under the sea 100? Is that right?
Yep.
We already did that one, so why don't we do 200 instead? Okay, so what's shown in this image? Is it a plastic bag, marine algae, goldfish tail, or coral? Someone says a drawing. It does kind of look like a drawing with that thick black line. Looks animated. Yeah, a tail, fish, algae, coral, tail, algae, coral, coral. Okay, I think most people are saying fish, coral, and algae. And it was actually marine algae, so that was right.
Well, they've done an awful lot of learning about marine algae and coral, so they really know their marine stuff.
Okay.
Okay, we have 2 more questions. Garrett and Ryan. So Ryan, you've been dying to put your category in.
Yes.
Good. With Nicole, that's right, Sierra. That's awesome. Ryan, your turn. Bye, Weston. We'll maybe see you in the bat session. Yes, Sierra. I think I sent you an email back. Hey, Ryan, buddy, do you have your question there?
What category did you want, Ryan?
200 for technology.
Technology. Was that 200 you wanted?
Yeah.
Okay. Technology for 200. Okay, what do you see in this image? You know what? I'm going to give you a bigger challenge. I'm not going to give you any hints. What do you think it is? Mesh? Speaker? Mesh? Microphone? Computer? Speaker? Mesh on the speaker? Those are all really great guesses, and you guys are basically right. So it is a speaker, but it's an itty bitty speaker. So it was a mesh on a headphone earbud. So a little speaker that goes inside your ear.
That's cool. And our last question, we're not going to clear the board, but that's okay. Garrett, see if you can find us a double Jeopardy. Hey, Garrett, I love how you guys are cheerleading everybody on.
Yeah.
Very supportive group. Gotta be. You're right, Sierra, especially in these days and times. Okay, well, maybe wait for Garrett, but so we can clear a category, at least one. Let's go for Under the Sea for 400.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you see here? Let me find your options. Okay, so okay. Your options are fish spine, a worm, jellyfish tentacle, or a fish tongue.
Ugh.
One says jellyfish, jellyfishy, tongue, tentacle, jelly. Jellyfish, fish spine, jellyfish. Okay, lots of good guesses. This one was actually a marine worm. Water worm, I think. I think this one's grosser than the mushroom. What do you think? Sierra says no.
Okay, and we'll give one last shout out to Garrett to see if he's there for one more chance. Because if he's not there, we need to thank Ellen for such a great session on learning what things look like when they're magnified, and how we can use different tools to look at materials in different ways. And it's really interesting because today we're also meeting with an astrophysicist who's going to show us some stars through a huge telescope from a planetarium in Hawaii. And so today's all about looking at things in different ways. So thanks, Ellen. That was really fun. You put a lot of work into that. It was really, really fun. And boys and girls, I'm so glad that you guys got to play Jeopardy. I'm sorry I'm not Alex Trebek. And
I think you did a great job, Mallie.
I've been trying. It's my mother watches it every day, so I've been raised on Jeopardy. So maybe we'll come back and play another time. I don't know if Ellen has another version we can play, but that was so fun to look at all those interesting things around your home. You did a great job for not having access to the museum materials. So let's give Ellen a round of applause. Thank you
very much. It was so fun to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for playing with us. That was so great. And so we'll see you guys in a few minutes. We have bats happening. Maybe Ellen will even want to log in. You can go to connectednorth.org /@home and join us to learn about bats, and even go to the astrophysicist. I'll send you the link.
Great, thank you.
Great sessions. So we'll see you guys soon in about 6 minutes over in the bat room. Or the bat cave. Let's go to the bat cave. So thanks so much, Ellen. Take care.